Hello everyone, as with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this from Smoke. Amplify ETFs. XRP is the ultimate bridge asset. The XRP ledger requires XRP cryptocurrency for transactions, reinforcing XRP's role as both a utility token fundamental to network activity and an investment asset with upside potential. You know what's really going to bring a lot of the institutional adoption to XRP Ledger? It's these ETF filers, because they understand the technology behind XRP, behind the XRP Ledger. They also have that same vision to see where XRP is going from here. And they even mention XRP's on-demand liquidity and low cost are transforming global payments and are already used by major banks, payment providers, and remittance firms worldwide. Think about that. You go to buy an ETF and all of a sudden you get an XRP sales pitch. These institutions are not going to be able to look past XRP. They are going to have the actual asset at some point. CEO of Canary Capital calls XRP the rails of the financial system, labeling the asset as one that Wall Street and most of the capital markets get. They absolutely understand it. The bridge currency utility. You know, once XRP starts going live on a lot of these rails all around the world, I'm telling you, everybody is going to move in that direction. That network effect is going to be real very soon. Ripple isn't what you think it is. It's part of the institution. There's a reason David filed multi-level distributed computer systems in 1988. Our genius created this incredible technology, then sold out to the system. Regardless, keep your XRP if you want to be filthy rich. This is when I believe it all began. Once David patented this was the future. And of course, this brought us to where we are today. But a lot of things happened in 1988. This was the same year that we had a major crash and the rise of BlackRock, the beginning of BlackRock. And I believe BlackRock was created in 1988 as the same time this was created for a reason. This shows you the direction the entire world is going in right now. XRP emerges as Ripple's play for Swift level power. This also comes from Smoke. Ripple's vision is to replace or complement Swift with XRP. It was always the vision, and Ripple never gave up on that goal. XRP was always meant to be utilized as a bridge asset within Swift and unlock that $27 trillion that is parked around the world for liquidity. That's why this is going to happen, because the banks are going to want to bring that money home to the bank. That's why they will adopt XRP. And when that happens, we are looking at a very expensive XRP. Most XRP holders, if they're still holding, when that happens, they will be retired that very day, because all of a sudden you'll get big announcement after big announcement while the price of XRP is skyrocketing at the same time. This comes from Exodus. XRP is already one of the most popular assets in Exodus. Now we're going even deeper. Native XRP ledger support and Ripple RLUSD are live in Exodus. And they're also pushing the idea of XRP being utilized in a very easy way through their wallet. When you make things easy, people will use it. If it's complicated, nobody's going to want to touch it. That's why even Ripple having that option for banks to just plug and play to RippleNet, that's going to be huge in the future. Think about if that crisis was to happen, right? And all these banks were collapsing out one after another, and they're getting swallowed up by the much bigger banks. Well, some of these banks can rescue themselves just by plugging into RippleNet and utilizing XRP. They're going to want to have that plug and play option when everything gets real. MasterCard and the XRP ledger. Take a listen to this clip.
Yeah, that's right. And I know there's different schools of thought. Some people say the future will be wallet-to-wallet direct connections, which for sure there's a lot of space for that. We, however, believe that the power of the network that we bring in terms of 150 million acceptance location, 3.8 billion cards, plugging in stable coins into this system is the best of both worlds in that sense. So think about stablecoins as just another settlement currency within our network that again brings certain benefits that fiat currencies do not allow today. The XRP example is we work with Gemini, one of our most sort of prominent crypto partners in the US, and we explore with them to settle their card flows in RLUSD. So we look at, bringing this to life still in the first half of this year, and we are very excited about that.
Absolutely, and that's also extremely exciting given some of the features of the XRP ledger, right, that were designed from inception to support a lot of these cross-border transactions of digital assets and different types of stablecoins as well. So that is really exciting. I think also MasterCard has such a unique reach, right, in terms of countries and partners and merchants. And you've also recently launched the MasterCard Partners Network. Yep. Right? You want to maybe share a bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. As mentioned, partnerships are essential to us because there's rarely things that we do ourselves end to end, right? We work with issuers, we work with acquirers, we work with so many tech platforms and different companies in between. And for us, the Global Crypto Partnership Program is a way to basically cast a very wide net to partner with the best companies in the industry to get together, advance safe, simple, secure payments in a very, sustainable manner.
So this brings MasterCard, Ripple, and Gemini together all at the same time. And RLUSD, they might be utilizing that now. Later, they'll start utilizing XRP as well. Remember, RLUSD was always meant to be the door opener for XRP. The latest salary data was released. Here's the median salary by age, and you see it right here. 20 to 24, 41,392. 25 to 34 years old, 59,800, and so on. But people all over X, they say $50,000 is not a lot of money. $100,000 is not a lot of money. Even $1 million is not a lot of money. But for some people, life-changing money comes at different levels. For some people, it's $10,000. Other people, maybe $25,000. I'm sure everybody out there could use an extra $50K. So when XRP absolutely goes parabolic and people all of a sudden are looking at their portfolio and it's $100K plus or $50K plus, that's going to be life-changing to them. I don't understand where these people on X get this logic from. They tell people you need to go out and buy 10,000 XRP tomorrow. You need to buy 50,000 XRP or you're never going to be rich as an XRP investor. I don't know where this narrative came from all of a sudden, but I think it also turns away new investors from XRP. Think about it. You're a new investor coming in this space, right? And maybe you're going to start out with $500. Maybe it's even just $100, right? And you're looking at XRP, and then you see people posting, well, if you're not holding 10K, don't even bother buying XRP. It's like, I don't understand where these people are coming from. I'm telling you now, you could start with as little as $5 or $10. It doesn't matter. You buy a little bit of of XRP week over week. Every little bit takes you and puts you on the path to financial freedom. This is our last place, our last chance to gain financial freedom. It's in crypto. You're not going to find this opportunity somewhere else. And don't listen to these people saying that you need X amount of XRP if you want to make it. Because I'm telling you now, once XRP goes parabolic, all of that will go right out the window. You're going to see people saying, buy as much as you can right now because XRP is going higher. Whatever you can afford, dump it into XRP right now if you want life-changing gains. But, you know, you start with the game plan and you stick to it. But don't listen to these people. Some people are really out of touch with the rest of the people on X. Most likely because they got rich a long time ago. But for the working class, we're still out here hustling, trying to make that life-changing money. Probably nothing. Pakistan just removed its 7-year ban on crypto and opened the door for banks to open accounts for licensed FASP. Bank Al-Fala is one of the largest private banks in Pakistan, and they utilize RippleNet payments for cross-border transactions. It's kind of crazy that Pakistan just announced the removal of its 7-year crypto ban. And I think it's because they see what's going on in the rest of the world, and they want to capitalize on that while they still can. And every other country's doing the same thing right now. But you know what's starting to be talked about again? Central bank digital currencies. I'll cover that a little bit more in another video. Jay Claver says there is adoption, regulation, and lots of liquidity coming into crypto. Then XRP can go to $1,500 to $2,500 in 2026. Take a listen.
The last one, last but not least, end of 2026, XRP price.
Oh boy, I've rapid fired the rest of them, so might as well. All of these are optimistic, okay? These are all optimistic, you know, based on a lot of liquidity moving into crypto. We're getting regulation, we're getting adoption, all those things. So if none of that happens, these prices are null and void. But XRP, I think 4 digits in 2026, $1,500, $2,000.
I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I mean, I see people saying if we duplicate 2017, 2018, this can absolutely happen. I think a lot more has to happen first. In other words, I think 3 digits is possible in 2026, but 4 digits, I think maybe end of 2027. And here's why I think that's the timeline for 4 digits for XRP. Unless the banks come out of the testing phase with some sort of set price, this is what I believe has to happen first. First, we're going to see a lot of assets flowing onto these networks from the DTCC, NASDAQ, and so on. That's going to really push up the price of XRP. Institutional adoption coupled with that is going to be huge. And then the institutions, they're going to open up a lot of different things very quickly because they also want to capitalize and make a lot of money in this space. They're not coming here to buy XRP and then hold it and wait for the price to go up. They're going to open up so many options that earn them money and earn us money at the same time as retail investors. But I think it's going to take a little bit longer for the trillions upon trillions of dollars to flow into these networks. That's why I think it's more likely to happen in 2027. U.S. Treasury buys back $15 billion of its own debt. The U.S. Treasury just completed a $15 billion debt buyback, marking the largest buyback in its history. You know, the debt is eventually going to become tokenized, and it's also going to end up on a lot of these networks. And there again, I think the XRP ledger will capture a decent percentage of that as well. And if that was to happen, there's your 3-digit XRP, possibly even 4-digit XRP, depending how much of the debt ends up on the XRP ledger. But these are the paths that we see to getting to these much higher price points. Is it going to happen in 2026? Only time will tell. One thing is for sure, though, the catalysts keep aligning. They're setting a time frame for this to happen. In that previous video, I just talked about how that peace deal, it could happen in October. That's coupled with the DTCC and NASDAQ bringing assets on chain. You couple in the Clarity Act happening in the summer and institutional adoption happening throughout the winter. All of a sudden, you have a perfect storm for XRP. But like I always tell you, until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.